because Washington is so stuff gets added and cut out, and I don't know what the final product's going to be, but right now there's a lot of good language for amputees in there.
So what was going on prior to this, and what do you hope is the new language that will help support what you're doing?
Like I said earlier, a lot of insurance companies will put a $5,000 cap in families. It covers a small portion of prosthetics. So families are forced to pay out of pocket tremendous amounts of money. My legs are $24,000, like I said. So people would have to pay $19,000 out of pocket every time they wanted new legs. That's just not feasible. So what this new legislation would do is eliminate caps. Insurance companies can't put caps. And people always have to have a base level of prosthetics that Medicare and Medicaid would provide. So that's exciting. It would eliminate the out-of-pocket expenditures that families can have. So that's exciting. So there's a lot of good stuff for amputees in there, and I'm really thrilled and excited about it.
While Jordan has accomplished a lot at a very young age, he still considers himself a normal kid.
Let's go back. So the accident happens. You're about to be a junior at Macaulay here in Chattanooga. How did it change your junior year?
Well, it certainly was an unexpected change for me. I was getting ready to go to school. I'd just gotten back from Spain. I was really excited about school and golf and bowling and just, having the junior year that everybody envisions. But, it took a change that I wasn't anticipated, but it was great though. I realized so much, and the support I had the whole way was great. And but my senior year, I was committed after my accident to returning to my senior year and living that senior year out really well, and I returned to the golf course and returned to the bowling alley, and it had a great year.
There it is. You go down.
And you were captain of your golf team before that happened, and now I hear you're a pretty good golfer.
I'm playing golf better than I've ever played before. A lot of people say I have a mechanical advantage, but I don't know about that.
What's your handicap?
I'm a bilateral amputee. Oh my golf! I'm a two handicap. I'm a two handicap right now. Yeah. So yeah, I get to play a lot of golf though. I don't have a job, and so I get to play a lot.
You're just a student running a foundation.
Yeah.
Other
just
things.
Normal little kid. Yeah.
So you're 16. There's a lot going on that the driving, the sports, all that stuff. What did you have to kind of reteach yourself to do?
I adapted pretty quickly. That's what my accident was all about, was just adaptation. I didn't necessarily have to do stuff the way I used to do it. I do it differently. I just had to change how I did it. How I went to bed at night. I have just a routine, and I've incorporated that routine into my life, and now it's just second nature. I don't think about it.
Like golf specifically. Mm-hmm. Do you remember getting out on the golf course that first time? Was it frustrating? Was it exciting?
It was the most liberating experience of my life. It was just, I was back. I was in my domain again. I wasn't in doctor's offices. I wasn't in a hospital. I was on the golf course, and it was unreal. And it was so exciting to hit a golf ball again. And that first day, I knew, the whole time I knew that I would get back to where I was before. And of course, I had naysayers that said, Jordan, you'll never hit it 200 yards again. And I used that as motivation, and I'm playing golf better than ever. But, there's certain things that I have to adjust to on the golf course now that I never had to face in the past. Uneven lies are difficult, obviously. And, my stamina is not as good as it used to be, but, I can still play 36 holes of golf in a day. And so it's pretty unreasonable to expect to play more than that. So it's just been about adaptation and just doing stuff a little bit differently.
And it seems like you learned it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I picked it up pretty well. So.
You think because you're athletic that helped? You mentioned that before.
Yeah, my athleticism, that made a huge difference. And I just picked it up pretty quickly, so that certainly helped.
Jordan is now enrolled in the College of Charleston in South Carolina. And just like any other kid in college, he lives a typical student life. He attends concerts, goes to sporting events, and of course makes the trek home for holidays or his annual foundation fundraiser. Talk to me about how your day begins and how you adjust with the prosthetics versus maybe how a typical 20-year-old would start his or her day.
Well, I really only deal with my legs for about 5 minutes in the day. I put my legs on in the morning and do my thing, and then take them off at night, go to bed, put them on in the morning, and do that. I take them off to shower, and that's it. But otherwise, I'm just a normal 20-year-old I'm fortunate to have the best prosthetists in the world in Orlando, Florida. So I don't really have to worry about my legs a whole lot. So
Did it take you a while to learn how to walk on them?
It took a little while. I was athletic. I'm pretty athletic, so that helped tremendously. I was on crutches for about a week, and then I was moving around pretty well. But I actually saw the video that when I was walking for the first time after my accident today, for the first time ever, and it was funny just to see how gingerly I was moving. And now it's just I don't even think about it.
Can I ask you some specifics about your prosthetics?
Sure. Absolutely.
So when you go there, is it kind of like picking out a car? Like, do you get to say, I want my foot to be a size 10, I want my legs to be, like the big calves? I mean, not to sound callous, but I think it's fascinating.
No. Well, I've always been really gangly my whole life. So I had size 13 feet when I was 16. And so I was sitting there at my prosthetist office on Brandon Road, O&P, and they said, what size foot do you want? I said, well, I'm a size 13. And so they showed me a size 13. It was this big. And I said, this is a boat? No, I can't do this. And so I changed to an 11. I'm an 11 now. So shoe shopping is so much better now. So it's great. So yeah. But you can, if you want big calves, and the cosmetic legs they make are so great now that you can't really, if you're 5 feet for someone, you can't tell. But I'm not concerned about that. So.
Are you the same height that you were before?
Yep, I am. Well, I'm a little bit taller, I think, but I think I've grown a little bit since I was 16. So,
right.
Yeah. So, but that's something that I can change too. So next week I could be 8 feet tall, and it's great.
And every time, which set is this for you?
This is my 4th pair in 4.5 years. Yeah, because not only, for kids they grow, but your limb changes as well. So my limbs change so much, both of them. So it's just the little adjustments, and those are the things that insurance companies don't pay for too. Is all the little adjustments that it requires. It adds up.
And what can you sense below your knee? Do you still have, feelings down there? We were talking before about sometimes you feel like your toes curl, but
yeah, sometimes I feel like my toes are curling, but my sensory perception with my feet is still there. I know like if somebody just barely taps my foot that someone's tapping my foot. But I don't really feel when people step on my feet. I'm not concerned with it, so that's nice. I was at a concert the other night and people kept jamming on my feet, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine, whatever. So there are lots of perks with it. I'm telling you, handicap parking is the best for me. I think that's the biggest perk of losing your legs. Is handicap parking is like key to the city, so that's great.
It sounds like a sense of humor is key to your life.
Oh, definitely. I think that makes people a lot more comfortable because it's kind of the elephant in the room. You want to talk about it, but a lot of people don't. People are really sensitive about it, but I just try to make people feel comfortable, and I think that helps.
Is that kind of a hard part of this, that people now have these expectations of you that you're, greater than the average 20-year-old, that you should be more mature and handle things on a different level? And is there a frustration there that sometimes you just want to be Jordan?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I just want to turn my phone off and just throw it in the river and just do my thing and be like every other kid. But then, I kind of comes back to hits me, and I keep in mind what I'm doing and who I'm helping, and it makes it all worth it. I'm certainly willing to make some sacrifices, and it comes with the territory. I can't have a big foundation that gets international acclaim and not expect to have some kind of commitments and stuff. So that's definitely worth it. But sometimes I definitely have those desires to just be like anybody else, but that's just not the way it is.
Who do you go to when you just want to feel regular again?
My best friends here from home, and at school my best friends are there, but the relationships I developed here as a kid with my best friends, that's who I go to.
Was there ever a moment where you thought, felt sorry for yourself? Why did this happen to me? Early on, later on?
Immediately right after my accident, I never had that woe is me thought. The time when I faced it the hardest, when it really sunk in, was really about a month and a half ago. Believe it or not, I don't know why it took so long to really hit me, but I was in the shower and everybody was gone. And I was going from my shower to my wheelchair, and I fell really hard. And it just the longevity of it, and the fact that I'll wake up for the rest of my life without legs, it really hit me hard. And I don't know what it was, but it just hit me that day. And they're tough days, but you get through them and try to remain as positive as possible.
Now, do you know what you want to do when you grow up?
No. I have no idea. I know that my foundation will always be something I do, obviously. But as far as a career, I don't know. But the foundation will always be a part of it.
What's on your bucket list? What do you hope to do in the next, 80 years of your life that you're going to check off and say, all right, that's one more thing I've got to do?
Meet the president.
Meet the
Yeah,
president.
that's my goal. That's my ultimate goal is to
Really?
meet the president. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's attainable, but I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying to do the fundraising thing and see if I can meet the president. I think as an American, that's the greatest honor you can have, is to meet the president, and that's my goal.
What would you say to him?
Oh, golly, you're nailing me down here. What would I say to the president? I don't know. I would just probably ask him tons of questions. I don't know what would come to mind, but it would just be such an honor. I'd love to just meet him and just say hello, you know.
You said before, and I've heard it in other interviews that you've done, that you don't necessarily wish that the accident had happened, but at the same time, you don't regret it.
Right. Absolutely. It's unfortunate that it took something like my accident to give me the perspective that I have now today. Everything that my accident, it might have taken my legs, but it's given me back tenfold. And so I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, because it's given me so much and I've been able to experience so much and learn so much. But yeah, I wouldn't change it at all.
Do you still feel blessed?
Absolutely. Every day.
Do you think it's funny that people have a hard time believing that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say there's no way you don't have legs, but man, I'm so fortunate. I have it made relative to 99.99% of the world. I'm so fortunate financially, my family, and just every aspect of my life I wouldn't change, and I'm really, really blessed.
Is there anybody who's been your mentor?
My parents, probably. They're probably my biggest inspiration, my biggest mentors, and they're kind of my rock. Anytime I'm struggling really hard, I call my parents, and they get me grounded, and they get me settled, and they've been huge. Yeah, both of my parents.
Do you think you've been a support for them through this, or that they've been a support for you?
I think it's been a mutual deal. I think that they've seen some things in me that inspires them, and then I see how they have handled their lives and what they've done in their lives, and I'm inspired by them too. They've made so many sacrifices to get me where I am today, and I'm just so grateful for them.
So I guess you're going to work on your golf game.
Yeah.
I know. I think one thing you have to strive for is that scratch.
Yeah,
Scratch
I
golfer.
gotta cut some strokes for sure. I got
Stop
two.
slacking
I
now.
know.
No excuses now.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed talking with you so much,
pleasure.
and I
Thanks.
know you are going to do great things and be able to change the world. So we wish you luck.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jordan.
For more information about the Jordan Thomas Foundation, log on to our website at WTCITV.org. Be sure to join me next week as I take a lesson in fiddling around with Fletcher Bright. I'm Allison Lebovitz, and I'll see you then. For a copy of this program, call 423-702-7800